All right, y'all. Greetings and salutations. Y'all know we like to have a special guest on the show. And this week, I can say it's an honor. One of the coolest Wildcats I have ever met. He's in my top three favorite Wildcats ever. Mr. Tyrone Sapp, offensive line coach at Dr. Phillips, if I'm correct.
Yeah. I coach mainly the defensive line at Dr. Phillips, and I'm happy and honored to be on here. And I guess if I had to pick a favorite Rattler, I guess it would be you, Mr. Hadley. I don't have a top three favorite Rattlers. I really don't like any Rattlers, but um, outside of you being a Rattler, you definitely in my top five of favorite people. Especially work with. We had a great time at Jones High School. But yeah, you're a Rattler. I'm a Wildcat. I got my little Wildcat helmet here.
Look at
Now
that.
I didn't play in this helmet. One of the reps from Rydell gift that helmet to me. Our Wildcat used to helmet. I want to say in the 2000s. 2010s. And as you know, I played there from 99 to '03.
Yes, and Coach Sapp is very humble. He's also served as a head coach, offensive coordinator, and highly sought after. So this guy,
Yeah,
he knows his stuff. If you ever
I
got to
try.
sit in on his live, he is very knowledgeable. And
Yeah, I try, coach. And just like you, very humble, a lot of humility. You go far that way.
yeah, coach, revolutionary offense. He's a stereotypical offensive lineman. They will often tell you in football circles, offensive linemen are probably the smartest guys on the field, and his offense is a lot of fun to watch when he's able to be an offensive coordinator.
Well, I would say I wouldn't say the smartest guy on the field, but the most extreme. Yeah, when it comes to fundamentals and technique, you have to be that way on the offensive line. You got to be zealous. You got to be extreme. You got to be able to give those linemen tools to compete against, and the majority of the time, guys who are more athletic than they are. So, most definitely. But I appreciate all those great those compliments. But yeah, I love offensive line play. I love coaching football.
Yeah, man, and Coach mentioned he played at Bethune Cookman, and could you tell us a little bit about your experience at Bethune Cookman, just to tell students about the HBCU experience and those who may want to know a little bit more about what it was like to play at Bethune when you were there.
Well, I played at Bethune-Cookman from '99 to '03, and coming out of Orlando, I had no experience on the college campus, and um, only thing I knew about college what I saw on TV. You saw the people with the sweaters tied around their neck and things like that, and then when I visit Bethune-Cookman, I said, "Wait a minute, these guys look just like me." So um, the experience at HBCU, a lot of history, a lot of tradition, just walking around the campus, interacting with fellow students, interacting with your professors, who a lot of times are alumni as well. They're not just going to teach you what you major in, but they're also going to teach you that from an African American perspective. And we're able to understand that African Americans, we have layers. Everyone's not going to be the same. So, meeting people from the West Coast, the Midwest, Northern, South, North, South, so it was a good experience for me because I was able to be exposed to different cultures, and, you know, not everyone that is African American is like me from Orlando, Florida.
Hmm. And how did you get into coaching? I've never asked you that question before.
Um, well, my high school coach, Bill Gerke, he coached me at Dr. Phillips, and I ended my career in 2003. And he asked me would I be interested in coaching. So when I got done playing in 2003, I went right into coaching in 2004 at Edgewater High School. And what's crazy, coach, is my first year coaching, we went to the state championship. And we lost to Miami Killian in Florida Field. We lost 28-14. And what's crazy about that game, that was my first year ever coaching. I was coaching the defensive line my first year, and we were winning 14-0. We ended up losing 28-14 in Florida Field. So that was my first experience, my first season coaching, coached 15 games, my first year or so. As I got in coach, so I thank Coach Bill Gerke and Coach Chip Gerke for giving me the opportunity and, just threw me in the fire. Like, hey, you're going to coach the defensive line.
Man. And that was coming from you playing offensive line at Bethune-Cookman. Is that
Yeah,
correct?
they come from me playing offensive line.
And
Um,
so how was that? How does the difference between that?
Well, as an offensive lineman, you know what a D lineman can do to hurt you. Um, the concepts are different. Offensive line, I'm trying to stop you from tackling or sacking the quarterback. Where D line, you're taught to make contact but disengage and run to the ball. So when it came to the moves and things like that, I knew uh, what gave me a hard time. But to be honest with you, I had to do research. I had to study, ask questions from Coach Gerke and Coach Bill Gerke, and also another guy named Will Carlton. God rest his soul. He was a great coach as well too. That helped me my first year. Coach Will Carlton was a great coach, and I was coaching the defensive line with him. You know, so yeah, just just being a student of the game. You never stop learning. Any good coach will tell you they're constantly learning, they're constantly doing research, they're constantly watching film, they're constantly learning from other coaches.
Man, that's what's up. And as I mentioned, Coach Sapp, I've been able to watch his offense, and I remember just sitting on the sidelines, just like, man, kind of in awe, like, man, this guy's offense, it's kind of fun to watch.
Yeah,
So to
yeah,
see him on the defensive side is interesting.
yeah,
So how has the game changed since when you played in college and in high school?
yeah. Um, well, for example, you're talking about the offense, right? The offense that I learned majority of the offense from Elijah Williams, who's currently at Jones High School, and um, learning the no huddle and the different signals and things like that. And when I had the opportunity to be a head coach, I patented my offense from what I learned from him. And a very dynamic offense, and it's fun, a lot of fun. And some of the layers you go in many different directions. You were talking about how the game has changed. Well, for example, to have a conversation with my son, um, a crackback block. A block where a defender is running down the field, they don't see someone coming, and they blindside block. Where when I played, you get a high five, you get a good job. Long
Mhm.
as wasn't behind them. Now that's 15 yards.
Mm.
That's a penalty. So I mean, that's that can turn a first down or a touchdown, into an unsportsmanlike and a dangerous play. Helmet to helmet. There was a thing. It's helmet to helmet when I played high school and college. I mean, there was. I mean, it was a very ruthless and a more ruthless and brutal game. The game is still brutal and ruthless. Don't get me. No, I don't want to take anything away from now, but there was no helmet to helmet. There was no unsportsmanlike for crackbacks. I mean, it was a very physical game. Matter of fact, you look at this helmet here. You know, the helmets are different. You look inside the helmet. And there's
That
no
ain't what I
football
played with.
player right now playing with a helmet that look like this on the inside.
Mm.
You see what I'm saying? That with this little padding right here. Now they have the flex helmets that got a little air pocket here that absorbs the blow, and you know, um, so it's a lot different. And this helmet wasn't even okay. This helmet says 2018, so I was done playing 15 years when this helmet was used. So I
Mm.
started playing in '03. So the helmets definitely have changed a lot. You know, and another thing big about the difference about the game is when we talk about concussions and CTE. When I played, and I'm sure guys anybody who watched you play the game, who did play the game, when you got hit and you were dizzy, you got your bell wrong. That's concussion now.
Mm.
We just shake it out, cartwheels, okay. So it's a lot different. How we monitor concussions, how we monitor CTE, how we monitor injuries are completely different. Um, Another difference in 1999, you had true tour days where coach, we were practicing from doing camp Monday to Saturday, 2 times a day in full gear. Okay, you can't do that now. You can't. You're not gonna have two. You can still have 2 days, but one practice is going to be on the field. The other practice might be uh, in cloth, or it might be indoors. You know, I hate to say back in my day, man. I feel old when I say that, but back in 1999, hey man, we were getting after it. It was 2.5 hour, 3 hour practices. You go to lunch, small team meeting, back on the field, both are in full gear. I want to say that changed. I want to say in 2001 it changed when it came to 24-hour rule.
Mm-hmm.
They created a 24-hour rule to where your whole week got to equal 24 hours, including the game. So yeah, it has changed a lot, man. But I think it's changed for the better good. Um, I think sometimes the helmet stuff is just sometimes it's a discretion call. I think it's a judgment call, a lot of times. But if you play an offensive line, every play is pretty much it's gonna be a helmet to helmet experience if you're a D lineman or O lineman.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And I noticed one of the things, man, these kids seem like they're practicing all year long for football. Is that something else that you've noticed as well?
Yeah, I forgot. That's a good point there, coach. The training. Yeah. I think football is year round for some people. Um, Especially I think not even in high school. I see in a lot of youth sports. Um, we have kids they're doing spring football and youth football now. I mean, when my son played, he went from practicing in June, playing in July. They were done in November. Now they have all these all-star games, these bowls, these tournaments, and they're playing full gear. It's not flag. So, some of the youngins here are having more contact than our high school kids. You know, but the training aspect of it is there too. Back in when I was in high school, we didn't have a O lineman trainer. Um, you had some trainers, you know, but it's full fledged now. I mean, we have quarterback trainers, running back, receiver, DB, speed and strength and speed trainers, D line, O line trainers. I mean, so yeah, it's year round, man. As far as the technique and 7-on-7 really changed the game as well too. So yeah, man, it's changed a lot.
Man, and I'm kind of glad, Coach Sapp. That was a natural segue. I did not push into that. If you're not familiar or don't know, Coach Sapp also trains student athletes outside in his I won't say in his leisure because he does need to be compensated for his skills. But here's a quick video. This is some of the fun videos if you play football where you get to see the offensive linemen pushing trucks. And this is Coach Sapp's boys out there getting to practice, pushing and moving the truck out there. And this is probably some of the funner times that they get to have. But
Well, I mean,
Coach Sapp is out there.
think I don't think it's fun time for our guys here, that's pushing that. But we're combo blocking the Silverado there. I mean, I do have an apparatus that I got hooked up to my back, to the back there. You see, that's my torque wheel. So I hooked it to the back and put a pin in it, and I mean, it hooked up perfectly to our hitch. And I'm like, man, we could drive this. So we put it in neutral, and really help these guys work on their drive blocking, combo blocking. One hand is on the torque wheel, other hand is on the back of the truck, and you have them driving it. So that was just Saturday. I think for me, when I'm training offensive linemen, we can do some of the same drills, but just add one or two variables to it to add something to it. And we really want to make sure that whatever we're doing, it translates to the playing field. We're not doing something to be cute. Of course, you want the cosmetics, you want to look good and everything, but at the same time, it got to mean something. You want to be able to cut on film. Like, for example, on Saturday, we were working on pulling uh, we're pulling and wrapping for a play side backer as if the play was power. Well, when we're working on that pull and wrapping drill, we can show film of my son specifically pulling and wrapping for a linebacker, right? So we're not just pulling, just be pulling. We're not kick sliding, just be kick sliding. Uh, we're doing it. That drill right there, coach. There you go. That's perfect. Um, you know, is that's power. That's power left. That kid is power right. The kid is a left guard, pulling to his right for that play side backer there, and we try to get as many reps as we possibly can. But it's all about fundamentals, man. You want to give these kids a toolbox. It doesn't matter what team they play for. It doesn't matter what level they're playing for. Everybody runs power, and these kids are going to maybe been a situation where they be at a camp or something, and they got a skip pull or what we call it, and they're gonna have an idea how to do it. They have been practicing this. The where some guys are going to these camps unprepared and they've never been taught how to properly pull and wrap. So, yeah, most definitely appreciate you showing that, Coach. I mean, that was just Saturday. We got a lot in on Saturday. We got in the pulling and wrapping. We did some footwork, some kick sliders, some pass pro stuff, and we ended with driving the truck.
And I like it. I love how you pointed out that it's applicable to the game. I know one
Yeah,
of the things I remember when I played football, some of the drills you'd be like, man, we ain't gonna never do this in the game. But I think that makes it. I think that improves the buy-in for your players.
right, right. Um, Man, I try to offer something that I don't think number one, everyone can't do, everyone's not doing. But if you had a I want someone to differentiate me from any other lineman trainer. We want to really develop these kids' skill set. We want them to get in a proper stance, come off the ball. Um, so I mean, and how I train these kids the same way I train my son. You know, throughout his whole career. So, um, you want to be able to be different. You can't be the same. Now, yes, we all steal drills, and that's what you're supposed to do. You can't act like, well, I know everything. You're not gonna have longevity in this. Everyone needs help. Everyone, can always learn from each other, no matter what level, no matter how many years you've been coaching. You got to stay humble. If you really want longevity, the minute you feel like you know everything, you're going to get left behind. So that's why I've been able to. I could coach D line. I've coached defensive backs before. I've coached multiple positions. You know what I'm saying? And me being the O-line coach, coaching defensive backs, but I had to do that one time. This drill here that you're doing is working on combo blocking. Anytime you're running inside zone, you really want those two linemen hips to be together. So in this drill here, if you notice, we got a hand shield in between the two linemen to make sure that their hips stay together. If that bag drops, that means that their hips are not together. If the bags drop before the drill is over with, they got to start over. That's a torque wheel that we have there, something to keep a handle to really simulate where your hand should be. But this drill is a good example. I got this drill from the University of Purdue, an online coach from Purdue. I was watching a video clinic of him teaching power. And on power, when you have a three technique, you have to double the three technique with a guard and tackle. And he showed this drill on how to help his linemen keep their hips together and their shoulders together, double teaming, or combo blocking a three technique. So we'll do this drill without the torque wheel. We'll do it with a hand shield. We'll do it with them holding the X bag, and then sometimes we'll put a person with a medicine ball at the end of this drill, simulating the guard coming off and blocking the linebacker. So yeah, it's a
Man,
science
I and
coach. I mean,
because I was watching this, I'm like, man, what are they doing? And I was like, man,
yeah,
I got Sapp on here. I got to ask him because I know one
yeah,
thing I love about Coach Sapp, he's willing to share. I
yeah,
remember coming into Jones green as heck, and he would just share like, man, just do this, do that,
yeah,
think about this. I'm like, okay, all right, cool,
yeah.
and
You
it
got
makes it
everybody,
makes a
man.
difference.
everybody needs help, coach. Somebody, no matter how successful we are in our careers, someone helped us along the way, right? You got to be able to pass it forward. All the coaches have helped me in my career. You know, I'm always willing to help young coaches because one time I was a young coach. Remember, I went from playing field to coach in 1 year, and I was rough, man. I was rough that first year, man. I was like, you know, going in on kids. Like, hey, man, this high school, man, just relax a little bit, take it down a little bit. So I was a young guy, and now I think I started in '04. This is year 18. So now year 18, coach, now I can try to help those young coaches like, look, man, you got to be able to, build a rapport with the kids, get a better understanding of the kids. You still got to get on their behinds, but you got to be able to differentiate your approach. Everybody can't take a lot of that stuff. Oh, man, he got another drill here. Okay.
Look,
This is
man,
Nate.
I come
Yeah.
with data, coach. I'm a story.
Yeah. So this is Nate and Dwayne. So we're working on this drill here. They're working on what we call our, you have kick slide and then you have power slide. So this is a situation where the O lineman is pass protecting, and sometimes he has to post, what we call post. So where he has to step with his inside foot and punch with that other foot here, and we're just applying pressure to Nate on his shoulder, and we want him to generate force just using that up foot. He's moving lateral, but he's generating power with that up foot. And this drill here is our his left foot. So we use the medicine ball every day. We use the cones every day. Um, Nate is going to be one of our starting centers. Excuse me, when I started offensive lineman at Dr. Phillips, and Dwayne, he's a lineman at another school here in Orange County, and they both are doing an awesome job.
Yeah. So, and again, I love how you're showing that the 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 drills are applicable off the field.
Yeah,
Like what you're doing off the field is gonna then translate to something on the field
yeah,
later on. And I think that's gonna resonate huge, and it already has.
yeah, most definitely. I think every kid that they have trained with us, um, they have seen an improvement somewhere in their game. If it's getting in the stance correctly, if it's coming off the ball, if it's strengthening their legs, if it's pass protecting, kick sliding, punching, pulling, blocking down, base blocking, using their hands, coordinating their hands with their feet. I mean, strengthening their core, man. It is a lot of stuff that goes into offensive line play. Offensive linemen are developed. They don't just show up and know how to play. They are. You have to develop them. That's why that position is very important. And I know you said earlier I was really sought after. That's because I'm an O line coach. I mean, there's not that many. You know, there are guys who are coaching offensive line because they had to coach it. They couldn't find nobody else to do it. But you got to love it, man. O line, this is not something you're gonna want to coach as. Oh, I got how to coach online. It's not going to end well. You got to want to do this. And even though I'm coaching the defensive line at Dr. Phillips High School, I get my O line niche. I get you know, my O line buzz, so to speak, from my academy. Coaching up my son, coaching up other kids that really, trust us with helping them get better as O linemen.
And let's give Coach Sapp some flowers. Sorry, because Coach Sapp has had students go play Division I college football many times over from the offensive line as well as defensive line. One of his former students is at Jackson State right now for all them Swaxon State fans. Uh, and he's one of my favorite kids. I'm not gonna lie. Personally, Devin was a great kid, but he's
Yeah,
got students.
and Dev Hayes is a special kid, man. First off, he's at Jackson State. He transferred from Florida Atlantic, and he was a graduate transfer, which is very big. So he has this degree, and we applaud, give Devin Hayes his flowers and his parents their flowers for raising a great young man, and not only playing college, not only signing, playing, but graduating. Man, that's what you want. Everyone's so focused on signing, right? But sometimes we put so much energy into signing, not really worrying about the maintaining and completing. Devin Hayes was one of the guys that completed. And I remember I started coaching Devin Hayes going into his sophomore year, going into his junior year. He had never played O line. He had came from another school in Orange County, yeah, and he was a D lineman his freshman sophomore year. So going into his junior year, his sophomore spring, going to junior year, we were coaching him. I was the O line coach. His junior, senior year, man, and he ended up being a starter for us at left tackle, and he did an awesome job. It's very hard to, never play an offensive line, but once again, Devin Hayes is like 6'6", at the time in high school, 260, 265, very athletic young man, very strong young man, and had a, great personality, great family, great background, and hey, the results. I mean, he still got time left as a college graduate, so that's big. I've been blessed to be around some good players. You
Yeah,
know,
Calvin was another one. Calvin Francis,
and
another, and he graduated. Think
yeah,
business
he
degree.
graduated, and he's getting his master's now. He's getting his master's now, man. So he's another kid, man. Humble beginnings. It took. I can't no one take. Can't one coach. I'm gonna say this because I know you giving me props for coaching these kids, but I'm gonna say this, and I want to hear this. Not one person can take full responsibility for the success of a kid.
Yes.
Not one coach. Now you have position coaches, head coaches, coordinators. Yes, they're going to get the publicity they should because they're the head coach. But trust me, man, there've been a lot of people who don't get their flowers. They help these kids. I give say to my son, I can't say I'm solely responsible for the development of my son. He has had youth coaches, he's had coaches in high school that have helped him as well, trainers that have helped him. I just want to say that, what I'm saying, because sometimes I think some of the adults get confused sometimes. They want to take all of the credit. You can't take all of nothing for the success of a kid. You know, you got guidance counselors, you got teachers, you got coaches, you got people like you, Mr. Hadley, who's in College Career Center. Help these kids. Fill out their paperwork, sign up for these ACT and SAT. So it's not just one person; it's a village. It's definitely a village to really get these kids, keep them eligible, keep them motivated, make sure they're studying, make sure they're playing ball, they're staying out of trouble. But Devin Hayes, Calvin Francis, um, Evan Anderson, um, you know, I go all back to Oak Ridge, Jerry Francois, Derek Newby, what I'm saying, David Sanders, you know, I go all back to Edgewater, Justin Jenkins, the John Simpson, um, it's tons of kids coaching that line of scrimmage. University High School, Derek Santos, Afford, all these guys I've coached, man, that's done a awesome job. So we're excited. You know,
Oh, oh yeah, man. And the next one up, it appears to be your son. I tell y'all, I have not given Coach a script. uh, he just
man, I could
the
talk for
segue
days,
was
man.
there.
Hey, anybody know me, man? I could talk, man. I talk all day.
And can fish now. Don't look.
Uh,
If you want Coach to really talk some trash, tell him that you can outfish.
well, yeah, I could outfish you. We talking about freshwater fishing, using artificial lures, bass fishing. But lately, my wife been catching all the big bass. So I can't even front. She's the one that lately been, kicking my behind. So, yeah. And I taught her, but I didn't teach her to whoop me like she does sometimes. But
And let's see it. Make sure we get the video to come up. Now this is Tyrone Sapp Jr.
Mm-hmm.
And now what do we see in here, Coach? Because look, you could tell me more
Well,
than
he's playing right guard, and he's finishing the block here. So I believe this is a play to where he's going to show his ability to base block. Now, before we talk how good Tyrone is, let's talk about what you need to work on. What when I played, I wasn't the biggest, strongest, but I was definitely the nastiest player out there. I mean, I was like really take liberties, not like something just not trying to purposely hurt someone, but I had to compensate, right? Um, I TJ has all the tools here. He could play center guard and tackle, but I told him that he still has a gear that we have not seen yet, and that's on him. He has all the ability, all the coaching, all the et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But he gotta, get to that another gear. And this play here, you go see him finishing the block here, but what you're gonna see is what I expect him to do all the time. You gonna see him driving this young man. I mean, he's gonna drive about more than 10 yards, and you see him here, he's still driving.
it's still engaged.
Yeah, he's still engaged. You see the end zone shot, and he's gonna finish the guy by launching him, but we want that dog, man. We want, when you hit him, I mean, you jumping on top of him, but that he has that ability, but he's a very versatile lineman. He can play anything in the O line. And last year he played nose guard, so he can play defense as well.
Hey man,
This
he's got
play
a few
here is
Division One
combo
offers.
block. Geez, yeah, coach. He's combo blocking with his right tackle here, and geez, I mean, they're gonna drive this kid completely. You see him in the top left hand corner there. I mean, this guy's coming off the page, and they're just gonna just dump this kid on the back of his head, going the distance here. Yeah, you see him right there. I mean, yeah, that's how you want to teach your lineman how to finish combo blocks. He's base blocking. And here's a good example here where I talk about that nastiness. You're going to see him just drop this kid off the ball. But what he needs to do here is that once he dropped that kid, I mean, he need to dive into him. We're not supposed to, say that, but we talking about as far as showing that on film that you're not just a base blocker. You trying to finish people. You trying to send a message. Watch, he's gonna drop this kid here. He just standing there, right? See what needs to happen is he need to dive into that joker while he's on the ground. Because my whole
Mm,
thing is they'll do you like that. If they get an opportunity to do you, trust me, they will do you. And they will put you on their highlights.
this is true.
Here, base blocking again. And this was spring game. We played a jamboree against Winter Haven High School and D-Land High School. Pull and kick. He's running a trap here. You can see him pull and kick out the end here, and drop the end. And this once again, this is why we work on the pulling drills. Because it is relevant to football. We have another pull and kick here, running trap. Another base block here. We ran the ball a ton this jamboree. We weren't able to get too many clips of him pass protecting. But we do have a lot of film of him pass protecting, at camps. Here's working on down blocking the one technique. One pass pro clip here.
Oh man.
Yeah,
Oh, he
yeah,
dropped the ball though.
yeah. He dropped the ball. Yeah, coach. Yeah. Uh, Base blocking again. So as you know, and all these base blocking clips are different clips. The only ones that are the same when you see the wide shot and the end zone shot.
It looks like he's getting that dog by finishing that blocking. I see it, Coach.
Yeah,
You've
yeah,
been
yeah.
putting
I mean,
some on.
coach, you see the spurts. Don't get me wrong. You have the spurts. The where where he showed that next level. Um, he's been blessed. We're blessed as a family. He didn't really play any O line, last year, but so far I think he has about 8 offers. seven, eight offers right now. All of a D2, and we're blessed about those, and because those schools did not have to show that interest. So the thing is, stay humble, because there's some kids that don't have no offers, have no interest, So this day and age with the transfer portal, still dealing with COVID nonsense, any interest is a blessing. Any interest is a blessing. You don't look past nobody. You don't take nobody for granted. You know, so yeah,
And Coach was at the HBCU mega camp as well as his son. So that was one
yeah.
of the great things. I got to see Coach there. I was surprised they didn't have him in there getting in there coaching a little bit. I was like, oh yeah, y'all missing out a little bit
No,
here.
coach. I mean, you let those you let them coaches do their thing, man. I mean, I'm just there, observing, and we went to quite few camps this year, and there was some things that he had been taught before, and there's some new things he had to learn. I mean, that's part of football. Everyone has their own style. Everyone has their own techniques and quirks they like about offensive line fundamentals.
That's what's up, Coach. That's what's cupping. Man, look, I told y'all, Coach, I have not prompted him for any of this. I just have it ready. So mention offensive lineman fundamentals.
Yeah,
Coach is going to be at the advanced QB camp. This is the second one y'all have done within like about 2-3 weeks. And
yeah,
no games played around here.
yeah,
Could you tell us a
yeah.
little bit about the advanced QB camp and kind of what it is?
Okay, so one of my good friends, Balin Trujillo, he trains quarterbacks nationwide. Balin's all over the place. He's sitting here in Central Florida like myself, and he does. I want to say this is his second year of adding offensive line. Normally, his advanced camp, he's doing quarterbacks, running backs, receivers, tight end. Now he has added me to the equation, the offensive line, and I'm telling you, man, we're going to be there from 8:30 until 12:30. So, no lineman, you're going to get at least 3 hours of O line fundamentals, pass pro, running game. I'm have all my little tools there. There's one thing that differentiate, us is some of the equipment I have. A lot of folks don't have it. I have all the nice equipment, but then again, we get dirty with the resistant bands and medicine balls. So it's going to be on July 30th. That is this Saturday, Central Florida Christian Academy on the west side of Orlando. We have some great coaches there, as you see on this flyer here. Some NFL guys, some college guys. We got Coach Trujillo, who's also a new father. Congratulations to Balin and Mackenzie having their son Grayson, and he's back in the grind, and it's all ages. So if you're offensive lineman, you want to get some work. We welcome all levels. We're gonna get it in, and this is going to be the last Saturday before we start camp on August 1st. So that last opportunity to squeeze something out of there. No equipment. We're not. This is us just going through drills, fundamentals. We're gonna be doing some down blocking. We're working on some punching, some kick sliding, some pass pro demeanor, some pulling. So yeah, so we're excited.
Man, this look, y'all, Coach Sapp, I'm gonna have to bring you back now. You already know I'm gonna have to invite you back.
Oh yeah, man. Oh please do. I mean, anytime, like I say, anytime we talk about football, talk about helping kids, I'm all ears. I mean, you got, as coach, you gotta have a desire to want to help kids. And I've seen you work and what you have done with helping kids, maximizing their potential, but also helping them understanding what it's like going to college and what it's like going to HBCU. Even though it ain't the right HBCU, in my opinion, it's not the one at Daytona Beach, but yeah, I think FAMU does okay job. They do an okay job.
I appreciate that. Now I tell y'all what, man. If you have the opportunity, please check out Coach Sapp. Coach, if someone wants to be able to inquire about your services, what's the best way they could get in contact with you?
They can go on Instagram, SAP's Online Academy, and go on Facebook. You can friend request them on Facebook, Tyrone Sapp. I'm also on Twitter, Sapp SR. But I would say Instagram, Sapp's Online Academy. you will see our logo there. Here's my Twitter right here. The coach is putting up for us. You can follow us. You know, so yeah, man. I mean, we always want to help. Now we're going to slow down a little bit on the training once the season start naturally because everyone is in the full in swing of things. But we will train, do some, throw in some sessions on a Sunday, like a Sunday morning, maybe. Um, Sometimes Saturdays, but a lot of times, a lot of kids are recovering from a game, and as coaches, we're watching film and meeting and things like that. So yeah.
Man, I appreciate it, y'all. That is Coach Tyrone Sapp, man. He is a VCU grad, and I tell y'all what, I don't hold it against him at all. I actually have learned quite a bit from the good brother right there. Look at it. There you go. More VCUs.
There you go, man. Maroon and gold, man. I mean, yeah, but we're Wildcats. We're Wildcats. I mean, we're part of HBCU family, man, and I enjoyed it. Definitely enjoyed it.
Oh yeah, man. As y'all can see, man, the love is real. Oh, the only time we really don't like each other is during the classic. Then after the game, we out there trying to figure out who got some good barbecue or something. Who got some
Yeah,
fish we can get.
yeah, but yeah, man. I mean, like I said, I really don't like any rattlers. I mean, I gotta be honest. I mean, I can't even. But Mr. Hadley, he's exceptional. He's the exception. I mean, you know, but me, I don't have too many rattler friends. We're not gonna go to lunch together. But it's all love. It's now it's all about exposure, and our schools are getting more exposure, even more. This is the most exposure that either school has gotten in years. So it's good. All eyes on HBCU, so that's a positive.
It's a great day, man, and hopefully, man, I'm not gonna lie, Coach. I might try to be in Jacksonville for that game where y'all
Yeah,
play
yeah, that should be a
Jackson
good one.
State this year.
Yeah, that should. I mean, that one's going to sell out most definitely. I mean, Jackson State, Bethune-Cookman. You got Coach Prime against the Wildcats. I mean, that's going to be a good one, man. And you guys play Jackson State too as well, right?
Oh yeah, I'll be down there for Miami for that one. That one's
Oh, so y'all playing in Miami for that one?
yeah, we're playing them in
Wow,
Miami, so they all over the state playing these Florida schools.
wow, man. So, yeah. So do you guys play them before we do?
Yeah, yeah, we played them our second game, their first game. So
Okay.
hopefully I can get some video and film and see Devin and some of them other guys on the field and
Oh
everything.
yeah,
But yeah,
yeah, man. I mean, Prime is giving HBCUs the right exposure. I mean, so hope I believe it's going to continue to go in that direction, and it's going to encourage kids to continue to attend HBCUs. As a not an afterthought, but as a real serious thought. Option. When comparing to other schools.
oh yeah, and BCU's got a good coach. I'm not gonna lie. Coach Sims is probably one of the most slept on coaches in the SWAC. He won't say it a lot. That he's another humble brother, but that dude can coach his butt off.
Oh yeah, yeah, coach. He's an awesome coach, man. They're doing an awesome job over there, with keeping our program where it needs to be. I mean, he's definitely a championship head coach. Champion head coach, most definitely.
Yeah, man, give him a few more years and they're gonna be back. I
Oh
that's I don't want to see it, but
yeah,
he's a good
but
coach, and man, you can't deny it.
yeah, man, and and Coach Simmons up there is with your school too, man. Is doing an awesome job as well, man. I mean, that's the thing. You see two Florida HBCUs that are really making big moves. They're getting players. I'm seeing some of the kids that you guys got through the portal recently. They look good, and Cookman, we've got some kids through the portal as well, and that's exciting. Exciting to see those kids, going off their place. Say, yeah, you know what, I want to try the HBCU. So that's good. That always helps. It's always a positive.
It's gonna be a great thing, man. It's gonna be a great thing. Well, I'm not gonna hold Coach Sapp too long because it's gonna be Monday morning soon. He may have to go to work tomorrow.
Well, I mean, we'll be training tomorrow. We'll be at training in high school tomorrow. But I mean, yeah.
But Man, that being said, Coach Sapp, thank you again for showing up and showing out, as you Wildcats like to say.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. It's always a pleasure, Mr. Hadley, man. Um, I appreciate you having me tonight, and having this conversation. 45 minutes it went by very quick, and that's a good thing.
I appreciate it, Coach. Well, y'all, thank y'all for watching. I'm definitely, as always, as my custom, I'm going to make sure I send a copy to Coach Sapp when it's available so that he can share it and download it in his leisure. But it's always going to be fangs up, y'all, and thank y'all for watching.
Thanks a lot, Coach.